Our final segment here on Offside Sports, brought to you by Turtlebox Audio. Live free, listen louder. Find their amazing lineup of outdoor Bluetooth speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. And a big thank you to Paul Teran and everybody. 84 Lumber in Otay Mesa, California, who are supplying us with the materials for our very soon to be finished brand new set. Reach out to Paul for all your building questions and needs at paul.teran, T-E-R-A-N, at 84lumber.com. All right, before we get to the bots standings and the bots, let's get to the gist of the show. We call it the GOTS. What do you got?
A little more serious
What do you
this
got?
week. Normally,
are we?
Yes, I'm more serious.
Oh, serious face. Here we go.
Normally, I have three sort of fun stories.
Yes.
This week, I came across an article, and it really, I just think it needs to be talked about more. And that is Elle Magazine published an article. It was titled "The Troubling Rise of Harassment and Stalking in Women's Sports."
Oof.
So 87% of online abuse is directed at women. That's according to the World Athletics study.
And women athletes?
Yes.
Or just women in general?
Women athletes.
Okay.
And so women are taught, you have to work extra hard to do everything. But we're talking about women playing sports right now, not sports media, none of that, although they face their fair share of this as well. I have faced it in my lifetime and working in sports, not from these two amazing men, but there's been others. But the women that are facing things like men showing up at their gates at an airport, which means they had to buy a ticket, right, to get through security. Showing up at gates, first of all, knowing their flight schedules, showing up with stacks of photos of the athlete. This has happened to Simone Biles, among other women athletes, a track star, Gabby Thomas. They have been given stacks of, and saying, you need to autograph these, you need to autograph these. And people are like, what, how do you even know I'm here? What are you doing? And showing up with these photos. Then another woman athlete, LSU's Olivia Dunn, she had to stop going to class because of the harassment she was receiving, and the people that were following her, the people that are writing horrible, vulgar, disgusting things online about sexual torture, the things they want to do to these women. One man put out a thing about he was going to marry this woman, put out fake wedding announcement online.
Oh my God.
So it's not just happening online. They're showing up places. They're signing leases to apartments in the neighborhoods of some of these athletes. So it's happened to Caitlin Clark. There was a man arrested for following her. And if you think back to like 1992, Monica Seles was stabbed by a crazy fan.
Yep.
So it's been going on for many, many years, but it's gotten worse because of the social media, for one thing, but also the access on the internet to find out where people live, what their schedules are, finding out their phone numbers. And people can say, well, just block them. You can block. It doesn't matter. They still find a way if they're crazy enough. So I guess my main message here is stop being weird.
Well, I wish it was. I wish it was that easy, Dave. You've got a mom, you've got a wife, you've got a sister. I've got sisters, a wife. I've got a mom, Allison. You've got a mom, you've got sisters, et cetera, et cetera. The old school of thought used to be, well, don't put it out there if you don't want people to react to it, type of thing. And it's not that. It's not as if the girl who's the LSU gymnast,
Olivia Dunn.
Yeah. Beautiful, smart, 10 times talented than she is beautiful and smart. It's not her fault. It's just, it's the way, I guess, social media. Now, I guess playing devil's advocate, I could say to her, hey, listen, if you don't want some guy to stalk you, you don't want to follow, you don't want people to follow you, then get off social media. Then quit putting your brand out there.
But they can't do that because they're also expected to not only be top in their sport, to brand themselves, get that out there.
The school's going to use you to make money too.
Yes, and it used to be, and it's not just schools, these are professional athletes too. Simone Biles and now Paige Buckers, it's happening to her. And here's the thing, if I think that used to be like, oh, you should smile more. Oh, fix your hair. Don't gain any weight. Be great at your sport. But now it's also because of online predators and social media. Now they're coming in through those angles, and because they're hiding behind a keyboard, they can say more things than just like you should smile more. They can say he's awful, torturous.
It's a cesspool.
it's terrible. So the pressure these women are facing is out of control.
Look, you can't judge crazy. I mean, to sit there and say we're going to try and police crazy, you can't figure it out what the next move's going to be. Now, that being said, let's say it was the other way around. Let's say it was Mike and me, okay? And we're the ones that are being stalked, and we can't go to class because there are hot girls chasing us all over the place. We'd go, oh, those are big time problems, Mike. You know,
Right.
You want a tissue? You know, like
Right.
Mike and I would actually embrace it.
Tough it up, Buttercup.
The difference is that's the difference of a guy and a girl, right?
Yep.
And let's be honest, this has been going on in the NBA for years. This has been going on in Major League Baseball for years. When guys check into hotels, there are girls already in the lobby. When guys leave the arena, there's just a line full of girls, and most NBA players, I'll say a lot, okay, because I covered the NBA for 10 years. They just go, you, let's go.
Yep.
And they pick like a buffet. That's the difference of the way the guys and girls are doing it. Now, the difference is, for me at least, I don't like to see anyone who I feel can't defend themselves, meaning I'm very protective of women and children. Okay, as a man, I feel like I can protect myself for the most part. Now, my recommendation for these girls that are high profile, you got to spend a little bit extra money for security. And if you aren't going to spend it, someone that's sitting there relying on your paycheck too to represent them, maybe it's the University of LSU, that they're going ahead and they're taking care of Olivia Dunn. Also, she has money, so does her boyfriend, Paul Skeens. He has money. Let's get the best security we can to protect her.
Go ahead, Allison.
Well, there is a difference between the men and women thing. Also, that's a huge point that the men can defend themselves better, but women, you know, we walk, I mean, do you guys, when you come out of a mall and you're walking in a mall parking garage, are you looking around to make sure that you're not being followed as you're walking to your car? Of course you're not. I am every single time.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys walk around with your keys between each finger? Your car keys?
Nope.
No, you're not. To use so you can stab someone with eyes? No, you're not doing that. Women, telling you we're doing that.
We'll get to the bet of the show here in just 1 second. To put a cap on it, we always talk about what's the great next industry in sports. It might be personal protection.
Yeah.
It might be, you know, those schools,
Right.
those schools hiring
Protect
full-time
investment.
firms, and it sounds callous, but it's protecting your investment. You're worried about the human being, but also these people, boys and girls, men and women, are making all this money for you, and you're just going to let them willy-nilly scatter and go anywhere?
Right.
Yeah, maybe that is the next big thing. Let's get to our bets of the show. Before we get to this week's bets, let's remind you about the bets of the show standings. Last week, we took our bets from the NBA playoffs, and Allison and I both won our bets. Dave did not. Hello. So currently the standings in the bets of the show, Allison and Mike +1. Dave, a big goose egg. A big goose egg. Go to PrizePicks.com. Daily fantasy at its best. All right, we're going to take our bets for the show today from NHL Stanley Cup Final. Game 6 is tomorrow night down in Florida, with the Panthers up 3-2 on the Edmonton Eskimos. And Allison, what is your bet of the show for the Stanley Cup Final?
Well, Edmonton obviously must win.
Back against the wall.
They have their back against the wall. They need Connor McDavid to show up and show up big. And to do that, he's got to be on the ice. So I'm going more than 24.25 time on the ice.
I think that's a
lot.
given.
That's a lot.
That
It
has
is
got
a
to be
lot.
a lot. And we're trying to make you money out there as well.
Yeah,
That
if you
is
lose and the guy played less than 24 minutes, what? Come on, Connor.
He sprained his ankle 2 minutes into the first period.
Well, the last game, I was looking at his time on ice, and the only reason he made over that was because it went to overtime.
That's crazy. A little bit of effort. Come on. I mean, he might be arguably the best player in the sport.
He is the best player in the sport
what are we
right
doing
now.
here?
All right, Dave, who are
Very
you going
disappointing.
with?
Well, since John Rahm let me down last week, I get 2 birdies.
Oh, sorry.
And he one of the best of all time.
Back. We took our bets from the U.S. Open round 1, not the NBA. I apologize.
And he couldn't get
That's
2
right.
birdies.
Yes.
I think it's asking a lot. Anyway, guess
Who you
it
going
was.
with? Yeah.
I'm going Leon Draisaitl. He's I'd say he at least scores a goal. Okay, so right now it's a half a goal, and I say at least scores a goal.
He either is the beneficiary of Connor
McDavid not being on ice,
or he's dishing to him for the assist.
Yes.
All right, I'm going with Florida Panthers Sam Bennett, who just literally camps out in front of the net, and he's one of those guys where he'll either redirect the puck, he'll score when it's passed to him, or it'll like wing off of his face and go right into the net. I mean, the guy has the dumbest / greatest luck in scoring in hockey. So I'm going to go with Sam Bennett, more than 0.5 points.
Are you guys loving the hockey playoffs?
Love it.
I love them. I
Absolutely
think
love it.
playoff hockey is one of the most fun things
You
to
can't
watch.
beat it. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Offside Sports. Thanks to Turtlebox Audio, Municipal Clothing, Emerald Spirit Tequila, veteran-owned premium craft, purposeful mission, exceptional taste, and 84 Lumber for their support and partnership. Thanks to our guest today, Professor Ed Egras, talking stats and broadcasting. Of course, everybody here who makes this show possible, and last but never least, you out there for being part of our OSS family. Be sure to stay in contact with us, keep up with us via our socials. For Allison Ratzlaff and Dave Palais, I'm Mike Costa. We're going to see you next time right here on Offside Sports.